We are just outside the opening of the Lost River Gorge and Boulder Caves, where officials are using a parking lot as a base for their operations. And as you can see up here, the sky is still filled with smoke as firefighters have been working for more than 32 hours to try to battle these flames. Ricker says as a parent, the best thing you can do is talk to your kids about what's on their phone and how to use social media in a positive way. Marissa, Greg, good evening. Well, we've been following this story for hours and police have been on scene for even longer. We initially found out about this from someone inside of the motel saying that their floor was moved and they were told to stay inside of their hotel room. And now we're looking at just about 5 inches here. So in just an hour and a half, that is how much snow we've gotten. And totals, again, my trusty snow stick here, just about a foot we are now seeing. Depends on where the snow has drifted, because at times this wind can get pretty rough. Not nearly as rough as it is down in Biddeford where Sam is, but it can get gusts up to about 20 miles per hour. The big problem here, though, is visibility. It's very, very low. When we first got out here, we could see all the way across the street to this other shopping plaza. However, now the visibility is just about a couple hundred yards. So many people grew frustrated having to change their travel plans. Officials here at the Portland Jetport say it's all about safety. They've had crews working around the clock to make sure those flights do take off today. Adam, thanks. A former Arizona sheriff will now avoid jail time thanks to a pardon from President Trump. This is the first time the president has issued a pardon while in office. And as CBS 13's Mola Langhi reports, critics are saying it's a free pass for a man who illegally targeted immigrants. Arizona voters ousted the Republican Arpaio in the 2016 election, replacing him with a Democrat. New developments out of North Korea, where the country has launched more missiles earlier today. According to Pacific Command, Pyongyang fired 3 short-range ballistic missiles from the Gangwon province. The launches took place as the U.S. and South Korea had their annual Ulchi Freedom Guardian military exercises. A spokesperson for Pacific Command says the first and third missiles failed in flight, and the second launch appeared to have blown up almost immediately. While there is plenty to do aboard the Oliver Hazard Perry, many of the trainees and crew members say their favorite thing to do is climb aloft. Wheeler tells me preservation is one of the 3 missions of sailing tall ships, along with education and goodwill vessels that travel to festivals and teach people what tall ships are all about.
Alexa, it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, and I'm very upset to say that this morning when I was leaving the house, I had the heat on in my car, and I was like,
wow.
Not yet. Maybe I'm just a baby about it.
I think a lot of people probably share that sentiment.
Welcome back. The Patriots will be without one of their star players this season. This is a tough one. The team announced today that wide receiver Julian Edelman will miss the upcoming season after tearing the ACL in his right knee. Jen, we're on 3rd Street in Dixfield, where yesterday afternoon this family home went up in flames. They lost all of their belongings and 4 of their cats. Tonight, they're thankful for the woman who stepped in to save one of their family dogs.
By the time I got out here, Troy was already in the driveway he's like, I gotta get my dogs, I gotta get my dogs.
When she showed up here, the home was engulfed in flames, but Mariah Colomb knew she had to do something. The man who lives here was worried about his 2 dogs inside.
And it would have been very difficult to make entry because of the extensiveness of the fire and smoke.
But the man went inside anyway, determined to find them.
When I first pulled him out of the kennel, he was very lifeless. He wasn't breathing at all.
The daughter of a firefighter, Colomb is trained in CPR, but has never had to use it.
I just knew in my head that something had to be done, and I knew the areas as where you needed to, do the pushes, and the guy from Irving was doing the breaths for me, and it just worked out perfect.
After about 10 minutes, Brutus started to breathe again.
I said, you just need to go. We got him breathing. You just need to go and take him.
Today, Philip Zink came back, trying to salvage anything he can.
It was, kind of horrific,
He says support from the community has been overwhelming, and for that, they are grateful.
Hundreds of people have stopped by, called, and offered assistance, clothing, and a few people gift cards. I mean, it's wonderful, that people have a heart. They really do.
Zink tells me that dog has been professionally treated and is expected to make a full recovery. Fire officials tell me investigators say the fire originated in the kitchen. Because the damage is so severe, they are unable to pinpoint a cause at this time. We're live in Dixfield tonight. Alexa Maslowski, CBS 13 News. Learning the ropes. That's what the Oliver Hazard Perry is all about.
I just had the best experience ever.
Where everyone aboard is a member of the crew. Even teens are trainees.
Everybody was super nice, and so I decided to come back.
Olivia Horton is on board for a second time.
It's crazy to see how fast you become really close with people. I never thought it could happen like that.
Crew members say those bonds are created through working together. Everything is a team effort.
You can see them actually progress, becoming better and better sailors and taking more in charge of the vessel and feeling like this is not only the crew's home, but it's their home too.
Trainees learn to climb aloft.
They learn how to climb all the way to the top of the rigging, climb onto the yards.
And while one half is doing that,
the other half is learning how to safely handle lines, how to make it fast to a pin, how to ease, tend, sweat up lines.
They learn everything the 19 professional crew members do on a daily basis. And some tasks, like the night watch, provide a hardship for the kids.
The longer you're on, we teach more and more steps because there's a lot of levels to the things we teach.
Maya De La Torre says she's done 4 programs with the Oliver Hazard Perry.
One summer, my mom was like, why not? Just sign up. And so I did, and I fell in love with it.
So much so, she decided she'll pursue a career in sailing.
I want to go to Maritime Academy, either in Maine or Massachusetts.
Because I do want to do this. It's great.
A dream of Aaron Oleg Kamen's for as long as he can remember.
It's happening. Yeah. It's so amazing. It's like incredible that I'm actually out here on the water and we're sailing right now.
Jen, that's right. We're alongside Route 202 in New Gloucester, and this area is filled with high-speed, heavy traffic throughout the day, and residents here say this seems more like a highway than a residential area, and something needs to be done.
Literally, it's like when I think about going somewhere, I feel like I'm playing Russian roulette. I literally am like, do I want to turn the key? And that isn't a joke.
Daniel Frida reached out to CBS 13 about the problem, so we contacted the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office and the Maine Department of Transportation.
They're just not paying attention, and I think it all is there is a big ball of, mishmash of everything, and it creates an environment that is really not safe or healthy.
What we found was 62 crashes in Gray and New Gloucester along this stretch of roadway in the past 6 months alone. Cumberland County says this is one of their worst areas.
It's escalated. It just seems like with people's reliance on handheld devices, distracted driving, it just seems like this whole problem has escalated. The traffic's going faster.
The sheriff's office says they've used a state-issued grant in order to spend 140 hours monitoring the speed on this road over the past 3 months.
For the reality that it's pretty much mostly residential and a bedroom community, it's not some rural farm road. It's not built to handle giant trucks who are bypassing the New Gloucester toll booth on I-95 to save a few bucks.